Hey everybody, Tom Vasel here, and today we're taking a look at Ticket to Ride San Francisco. This is the fourth in the series of the small box games of Ticket to Ride. And I'm going to actually be showing you how to play this game, and I'm going to be doing so as if you've never played Ticket to Ride before. So don't worry if you haven't played one of the other 20 versions of Ticket to Ride. You don't need that. This is a standalone. That being said, I have some thoughts on this. We'll be right back. So we have a board here, a map of San Francisco, and there's different tokens in the game. You're going to have 3 or 2 of these different color tokens, and you're trying to get these tokens at the end of the game. If you have, for example, 7 different color tokens, you'll get 12 points. If you have just 1, you'll get none. 2, you get 1. So you want to get as many different colors to get the extra points. Players are going to also start with a couple transportation cards that show various means of transportation, but mostly they're different colors / symbols. The symbols and colors are the same. And then these tokens are going to start on predetermined areas, except 1 or 2 piles of the tokens will be determined by the players. Whoever is going to be going last gets to pick where they start on the board. Now, on a player's turn, they have 3 different options that they can take. One of those options is drawing transportation cards. So you get to draw 2 of them. So I might say I want a red, which is immediately replaced, and I want another red, which is immediately replaced. You can also draw cards off the top of the deck as the 2 cards you get. There are wild cards. Wild cards are naturally better than a single card of a color. So if you take one of them from the face-up cards, that's the only cards you get. However, if you draw from the top of the deck, well, lucky you. You get to keep 2 cards, one of them being wild. Or maybe if you're lucky, both of them being wild. Instead of drawing cards, you can also claim a route on the board. You can pay cards equal to the color of the route. So this route here is either 3 purple or 3 blue. So I pay 3 purple cards here. I have to do the entire thing in one shot. And I'll put little tram cars in my color there to take up that spot. Now, when you put these on the board, you're going to score points. That's mentioned right here at top board. A single train route is worth 1 point. 2 is worth 2. 3, the one I just put, is worth 4 points. And 4 is, I'm sorry, there is no 4 on the board. There's only a 5, is worth 10 points. Now, you'll notice this is a double route. And if you can't claim both, so I can't put these down here again. But in a 3-player game or more, then someone else could claim the other route. In a 2-player game, once one of these routes is claimed, no one else can build in between there. Now, you're doing all this because at the beginning of the game, you'll get a couple tickets that will show you, for example, I need to connect Fort Mason to Market Street to get 3 points. I need to connect South Beach to Pacific Heights to get 4 points. I need to connect Union Square to Golden Gate Bridge to get 6 points. So if you complete these routes at the end of the game, you'll get this many points. If you don't complete them by the end of the game, you will lose those points. And it doesn't matter if your train goes all over the map, as long as you've connected those 2. So as another action, you can draw more of these cards. Maybe I want to get more ticket cards. So you will simply draw 2 of these cards, and you have to keep at least 1 of them, but you can keep both, putting the other on the bottom of the pile. That's it. You're going to keep going until somebody is down to 2 or less cars in front of them, of the cable cars in front of them. At that point, everyone gets 1 final turn. Then you're going to add up points for you'll have scored these points for train routes during the game. You'll add and or subtract points for your tickets that you've done. And then the number of different colored tokens that you've collected will give you points. You might say, how do you get those tokens? Well, when you connect a route between 2 cities, if one of them has a token on it, you take that. And that's how you get tokens. Anyway, whoever has the most points is the winner of the game. Okay, so Ticket to Ride San Francisco, I like the motif. I like the San Francisco colorfulness of the board. I like the little cars. I think they're super fun. This is a nice little game. But it's a nice little game. Now, I like the Ticket to Ride series. They're some of my favorite games that exist. I think that they're really neat. The idea of drawing cards, keeping them in a rummy-esque style, placing routes on the board. The smaller Ticket to Rides are a different beast. We're talking 20-minute games, maybe 30 minutes at most. They're short, they're small, they don't handle a ton of players, but I like them. This is a fine version of them. I just don't know that I necessarily need it. So, you know, the Ticket to Ride design space, I think, is very fascinating. The original Ticket to Ride was in the United States, and then we went to Europe when it added this, and then it went to Markland and it added passengers, and it went to Japan. This is one of the newest ones, and there's a bullet train there. That's all kinds of cool stuff. But when we saw the little Ticket to Rides, as we see each of them and wherever they are, and each one of them it's a much smaller design space. So this one adds tokens. Now, the tokens aren't an entirely new thing. They're a little similar to the tokens in the Big Brother game, Ticket to Ride Germany. Here you have these colorful tokens, and you're trying to connect to those. You're also trying to complete tickets. And as I played through this, I thought, this is fine. This is fine. But then I'm trying to take myself out of playing it and think, what if I had never played this before? What if this had been the first Ticket to Ride I played? Then I think I would be better. So this is kind of a weird thing. So my final rating for this is coming in at a 6.5. And realize that's for me. If you said, hey, do you want to play Ticket to Ride San Francisco? I'd go, sure, why not, I guess. But it doesn't have any attraction to me. And I can tell the difference because when the big Ticket to Ride expansions come out, they get me very excited. I'm like, what new way are they going to twist this system? This one hasn't really twisted it much. In fact, it's hard to tell sometimes the difference between this one and Ticket to Ride London, for example. Yes, there's a minor difference, but they don't feel as different. And while I thought that, you know, the first one, Ticket to Ride New York and Ticket to Ride London, were a breath of fresh air, and wow, it takes Ticket to Ride, shrinks it down, that woo moment is over, and I still like those. But this one here, even if, again, if this is your first time and you've never played one of these before, get it. It's worth it. But if you haven't bought it yet, I might recommend Ticket to Ride New York first, or maybe even the Big Brother Ticket to Ride. This is small, easy, portable, and all that. But it's starting, this particular series, the small Ticket to Ride series, is starting to slip for me, but I still think they're fine. I just don't think you need 4 of them. I have 3 of them currently in the Dice Tower library. I don't think I'm going to add this one because I don't know that it's going to add anything different to that grouping. Which is a shame, though, because this one is awfully pretty, and I really do like those little cable cars. So, there you go. That's Ticket to Ride San Francisco. I'm Tom Vasel, and you're here at Dice Tower Studios. We'll see you next time.